Don't get blinded by the light from fame. We're all ordinary people at the end of the day. We make decisions, some good, some bad, but we all pushing for things we never had.
Ordinary people with extraordinary ways.
Yeah.
Everyday people trying to make a way.
It's just
ordinary people with extraordinary ways.
Yeah.
Trying to make a difference step by step each day.
Welcome to IJU Ghana Live. My name is Paul Semeh. I'm your favorite host on location at the Street Children Empowerment Foundation. Today I have a guest with me that is really an emotional moment for me. Somebody who held my hand 10 years back when I was going to start the Street Children Empowerment Foundation. And today, to be talking to her, I just feel so honored, because truly what I bring to you listeners of IJU Ghana Live and those who view on YouTube is value. And this is somebody who made a huge impact on me as a person. So you want to stay tuned, you want to share this with your friends, you want to make sure you subscribe to our button so you can get this value. I can tell you this 30 minutes is more of a training session than, it's going to be more of a training session than just a conversation.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know.
Yvonne Witter, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. You are an award-winning author and enterprise consultant. You have also done great coaching with a lot of people. Can you tell some of the driving force that made you become the business expert? What was the motivation? Why did you want to help people to strive in business?
I think the first thing that motivated me to do this work was being involved in working in an environment. I was working in a college, and I was a project manager for an enterprise program. And I noticed that some people were not being supported well. I'm in the UK.
Okay.
And startups, people who wanted to start a business, they didn't have anywhere to go really, and the government wasn't really supporting them. If you were in business for 3 years or more, in those days, you could get support. But if not, no. And so I thought to myself, I need to do something about this. I didn't know how I was going to do this. Yeah. But I did my research. I went to the government, and that was what motivated me. I wanted to help people. At the bottom line was, I wanted to help people to be able to start and sustain successful businesses. That was my core driving force.
Wow, great ambition. So would you want to say what is the big picture that contributed to this whole vision? I know you have said you wanted to help people, but I want you to like a big picture of where all of this is leading and where you see yourself doing to business as an enterprise.
So what I found was that so when I started working in this field and setting up my own company and working with other consultants who are specialists in different areas of business, whether finance or licensing, or working with business lawyers who looked at contract laws and things like that, I find that some people, sometimes women, lacked confidence. Whereas men will sort of say they can do something and they can't really, but they will give a go. And women will be able to do it and still think, oh, I'm not so sure. And so then I developed a brand called Enterprise for Women, and that developed women's confidence and self-esteem to sort of go shoulder to shoulder with men and feel confident to say, yes, I can do this. I can run this business. And I'm very proud to say that there are many people I've worked with who 10, 12 years on, they're still running successful business. And then I wanted to extend myself to work internationally. And that's when I ended up in places like Ghana, where I met you, where you educated me. I went to Ghana and I had an education. I was honored to work with your Street Children's Foundation. I was honored to hold your hand in those very, very early days when you had this thing you wanted to develop.
Yeah.
But you educated me because I didn't know about street children.
Yeah.
And over the years, when I became a patron and when I came back again to give support, and then I found out there were generations of street children. So
Yeah.
I remember going away, going on the internet, looking and learning so much. Even myself was like, oh my goodness, you
Mhm.
know, this thing is Paul. The work Paul is doing is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know. And I told other people, then I got Dr. Anita to come from America to come over to, you know, to other people to get involved. So, you know, education is sometimes, oftentimes a two-way thing, Paul, you know. So I learned a lot from you too. And each country I've worked in Cameroon, I've worked in Malawi,
Yeah.
I've worked in the Far East. And each occasion I've learned from being in different countries, as well as working across Europe.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Go on, Paul.
Go on.
No,
Sorry.
I think you know. I think I work across the social enterprise and NGO and small business sector. I'm unique in that I straddle across those sectors, and there's not many people that do, but I'm one of those. And my main thing in life is to enable and empower organizations to be the best that they can be.
Yeah.
And so it's more than the profit motive, you know. If somebody just wants to be a millionaire, that's fine, but I'm probably not the best person to see. Because, you know, people have various ways of extracting money from other people.
Yeah.
And some of it is not always equitable, you know, it's not always with integrity.
Yeah.
And so I like to work with people with integrity. Whether you're a private business or not, you have to have integrity. You have to want to help people. You want to need to be providing a solution, even in the business that you're doing.
Yeah.
I want to see you provide a solution, you know, really make a difference.
Yeah.
So that's the core of who I am and how I work.
Okay, so I'm sure that my viewers and listeners, you will see me so often take notes, because when you're having interaction with great minds, you definitely should be taking value from the conversation. So one key thing she said, and that I have written down, even though it's profit making, she's looking at people who are offering solutions, people who are offering something, not just people who want to just extract money from people. So it's not just for the NGO business to provide solutions, but every business should be looking at providing solutions.
Yes.
Thank you. I know in 2019, reading your profile, you were named Norfolk Businesswoman of the Year 2009. How did that influence your practice and how did that motivate you to further give more to what you do for businesses?
I think I've received various awards from different bodies, about 3, I think. But I think for me, it's like, it's nice to have your work recognized. It's always a surprise, a shock that people actually see what you do, because you know you're working away. You don't even realize that other people are noticing the impact.
Yeah.
But I think what's very important is an important legacy is how you make people feel and the impact you have when you work with people. Because let's face it, if you didn't have a good experience, you wouldn't be inviting me back here. How many years? You know, nearly a decade, over a decade.
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh yeah, I saw that woman 10 years ago, but I don't remember her name or whatever. So for me, it's really important that I leave a good legacy with people, you know, that I work with and that I try to help. I'm not perfect. There are some people I'm sure saying, who, her? But I do try. I try to leave a good legacy. I'm working on a book at the moment.
Okay.
And the book is around customer relationships in the African and Caribbean business.
Okay.
And even when I was in Ghana, I remember we did an event. Many people attended. I can't remember who hosted it. I think it was the Chamber of Commerce who hosted an event.
Yes.
And I remember the question being asked: who in the audience has problems with customers? You know, like customer relationship, you know, when they go to a place as a customer. And nearly everybody put their hand up. They were saying that they had issues. And I said, if you're all business people and you've all put your hands up, some of you must be part of the problem.
Yep. That's true.
And everybody looked at me. Anyway, so this thing has been bugging me in the UK here. You know, I put out a survey, electronic survey online. People from the America responded to it. This was a few years ago.
Okay.
And it seems that this situation with us is common. So
Yeah.
I'm writing a book around customer relationships, and it should be out 2021.
Okay.
And I really want us to consider the benefits of changing our attitude to how we deal with customers in our business and in our services.
Wow, phenomenal. So going a bit into the book, I know you have not launched it yet, but I am really, really curious. As a young person on the continent, I know what you are saying very well. It's one of the demotivating factors to attract tourists coming in. They go to different hospitality industry service providers, and the reception is quite, I mean, in Ghana, we make a big deal of the Ghanaian hospitality. But at the same time, when you go to our hospitality services, we don't really get the sense that people have customer relationship. When this is up, can you tell my listeners that we are going to be one of the first people to get a copy or a talk? Or
yes, absolutely. I will send you a signed copy, and maybe you might invite me to Ghana to come and speak.
Please, on PSGS, we will be happy to have you to come and speak. And even if
there's no COVID,
yeah, even if it has to be virtual, whichever way we do it,
even virtual, yeah.
Great. Then we can help promote the book in Ghana and all. But in your life, doing all this amazing work, I mean, trying to help businesses, like you said, you tried. But you definitely should have hit some rocks or bumps on your way. You should have had some struggles. You want to share with us, because someone listening would say, a woman will be listening and she's like, a young lady is saying, I want to go into consulting like myself. I've started PhD consult. What have been the struggles? How has the journey been like? And how can you tell somebody who is dreaming to start something, the possible roadblocks they may have, and how you negotiated around these roadblocks?
Okay, there are so many things to say here. One of the first things I want to leave with your listeners and your viewers is there is no elevator to success. There's no fast lane. Yeah. There just isn't. And you know, we live in a this year has gone so quickly, and no one's going to argue with me about that. Time seems to be flying so quickly because of, I suppose maybe because of the way we have social media and all that. But there is no quick way to success. You have to build. I believe you need to plan. People hate the word business planning. It doesn't have to be complicated and complex. Yeah. But you need to sit down. You need to think about why you want to go into business. What do you want to do? Why do you want to do it? Who do you want to do it for? People often think they can't start a business because they haven't got any money. I don't agree. I really don't agree. Unless you're going to set up a factory or something. I don't agree. It's much more important to think about what problem are you solving? Yeah. That is more important, to think about what problem are you solving. It's not good enough to just look across the road, see the lady over there doing hair, or see the man over there doing something and say, oh, I'm going to do that too. It's not good enough. It needs to come from you need to be passionate about what you want to do. Paul will tell you, passion is what drives Seth 10 years on. Yeah, sure. Because you need passion for when it's tough. Yep. Because it's not always easy. Sometimes it's tough. One time I was contracting with a government department, and we got to around October time. No, they didn't pay my invoice. November time, they didn't pay my invoice. December came, everybody went on holiday. Would you believe? The whole department. Wow. I had my mortgage to pay. My son was in high school. Wow. They did not come back to work until January. Wow. The bank in this country, the bank don't care. So the bank are writing me nasty letters saying, you know, you need to pay your mortgage, or you know, we're going to put penalties on, you know, and it was a horrible, stressful Christmas holiday time in December. I was divorced at the time. It was very hard.
I can imagine.
You know, yeah. And all because, and you've done the work, you know, it's not like I haven't done the work. It's not like they're not happy with the work. They're happy with the work. They're just not running that government department very smoothly to get my money to me. And then in January, mid-January, I got money. I got, you know, several different checks, because even then the person authorized to sign off a chunk of money wasn't back at work. So they couldn't give me everything, you know. Some junior person could only write checks for like £500, in those days, £500 here for it, you know, it was that kind of thing. So that was difficult. The other thing I did was, which was I consider a hurdle.
Yeah.
Was I engaged someone in 2011, 12, right about that time. I wanted to change, and it was called a Ning site at the time, a networking site.
Okay.
And I wanted to change the interface of it.
Yeah.
Because Ning was, you know, Facebook wasn't what it is now.
Yeah.
In those days, and you could have your own independent networking site. And I built up this site, had lots of women from all around the world on this, and I wanted just to look a bit pretty at the interface. And I spoke to somebody, and she said she could do it.
Okay.
And I was rebranding as well at the time.
Yeah.
I paid her £3,000, and she destroyed my Ning site. I lost all my network.
Wow. Wow, that must be hard. The person just didn't destroy, but you paid her £3,000 at a time. That should be a lot of money. I don't know what I would have done.
By any standards, by anywhere in the world, that's a lot of money. For the rebranding wasn't bad. She did new business cards, all that stuff wasn't bad. But the website work, which was the biggest part of the work, all it was to change the interface. And she was convincing me that this new thing could work, you know, and I was like, oh, you sure? And, yeah, but, you know, after a while, it was absolutely done. It didn't work at all. So I lost a whole network that I was working with thousands and thousands of pictures that people had posted, you know. So that was part of my business that I wanted to develop, you know, as a brand. You know, that was the enterprise for women element of it. I wanted to do some international connections for trade with women in different parts of the world, and using this online portal to do it. So that was the ambition at the time.
How did you survive How did you survive this? Like,
this is the thing, you know, bounce back.
Your legacy, everything.
Bounce back is a serious thing. So what happened then was, what I learned was always when you engage somebody to do work, let them show you work they've done already.
Okay.
You know, let them show you, make sure they show you. I went on the fact that she was really nice and she was friendly.
Yeah.
And she, even though she'd been recommended as good at certain things, website wasn't her thing. And she was outsourcing the work for the website. She wasn't doing it herself, because that wasn't her speciality. Yeah. She was outsourcing it elsewhere, and I didn't know that. So I should have found out from her, do you do it yourself? More inquiry, you know?
Yeah.
So that was a hurdle. The other thing I suffered from was burnout.
Okay.
In 2013, I burnt out to a frazzle.
Okay.
And this because I was working very hard and I wasn't looking after myself enough. You know, enough sleep, enough life-work balance.
Yeah.
Doing too much. I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but I like to produce good results.
Yeah.
And
I know that.
Yeah, and I became ill.
That 1 week with you was intense. I know.
Yeah. When you work, that's what happens when you work like that. You burn out to a crisp.
Let me tell my listeners and viewers something. You literally had us within a week come up with an annual report for an imaginary organization. Like, if you want to start this NGO, come up with an annual report. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? And within a week, we had to present our report. So that was really, and to date, that template stayed with me. Let me tell you.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes, yes. So
that's amazing.
I know what you are saying when you say burn out, because you were one of the people that really pushed me in my mind to dream and see beyond just what everybody else tells you. So
yeah,
I can imagine. How did you overcome that burnout?
I had to rest, I had to take time out. I became ill, I had surgery and stuff. I had to take time out. I took time out. I still did a little work, but not much. Just consultancy, work, doing stuff for other people, writing reports and doing small stuff. I stopped doing government contracts. I downsized my business, and I work now. I work more in a very strategic way. I write. I do more writing. And I'm quite happy. And I started this mastermind group, which runs on a Thursday at lunchtime, which was earlier on today. And I really enjoy that. The mastermind group gets people who are new to business or in business, and they all come together and meet. Our group is 10, and I just facilitate them to talk about the issues. And then we have guest speakers sometimes to provide specific information on finance or marketing or specific topics. But generally, they bring their business issues to the table. And, within a group of 10, someone will have a solution.
Yeah.
Someone will have a solution. It doesn't have to be me talking all the time. You can allow people to speak and share. And then I just guide that. And I really enjoy the mastermind groups.
Yeah, great. This year, this COVID-19 year has hit as many businesses. And I know you said earlier that this year has gone quickly. Maybe we are wishing for this year to go quickly because we are wishing that the problems will go away when the year comes to an end. As an award-winning business expert, what key activities would you recommend entrepreneurs to invest their time in the coming year to recover from? I
think right now, what I believe? I believe deeply. I believe that people need to stop thinking about going back. There's no going back to anything.
Okay.
People need to, no, there's no going back to normal. I think it's the same thing in the UK. People are waiting to go back to normal. I think people need to start to think about how they can do what they do differently. Like, for example, you're interviewing me. I'm in my house here in the UK. You're there. We have a great reception, and we're doing it.
Yeah.
Aren't we?
Yeah.
We need to think. People need to think. Yeah. People need to think really deeply about how can we continue to do this, but in a different way. Yeah. And I've seen people, for example, here. There's people who used to do cakes for like parties.
Yeah.
So there are no parties. So what do? You don't make any cakes? No. What she did was she started to make cakes, small cakes, and put 6 in a box.
Oh.
Assorted. And then she phoned, Yvonne, I've got these cakes in a box. And she delivers them on the doorstep. You pay her online, and she delivers the cakes. And then you have the cake. So there's, it's me in my house.
Yeah.
And you have different assortment. So these is boxes of, she might have a carrot cake, a banana cake, just a slab of 6 types.
Yeah.
And then she started delivering that. So she found a different way to keep doing what she does. And other people I know who used to run exercise classes, they run them online.
Yeah.
For example. So, they do Zumba class online and or dance classes online on using Zoom or other technology. And so what I think is people just need to start thinking again about more deeply how they can work differently. What can we change? What new skills do we need to have? There's some people talk about retraining during this time, using the time to learn new things.
Yeah.
Possibly. Possibly, but I think it's to build on what you have as opposed to going to somewhere completely new.
Okay.
You know, how can you build on what you what already exists,
Yeah.
possibly?
All
You
right.
know.
Great. I'm sure that if you didn't take anything, I took it. No going back. We are going forward. So
Yes.
we all have
Yeah.
wake up and go forward. I want to just ask because you also mentioned you're going to be publishing the book on customer relationships soon. You are also the author of many inspiring books and journals. What is your biggest motivation when you are writing? And has writing paid off? Is this something you would recommend if somebody has the talent and the gift?
Well, for me personally, I'm mainly a non-fiction writer. So
Okay.
I write reports. I enjoy writing. You know the way some people enjoy working with figures?
Yes.
I enjoy writing. I don't like working with figures. So I write business reports for others, for companies. I write evaluation reports. I write consultation reports. So if people have a big meeting of, hundreds of people, it's recorded on. When COVID came, I got lots of work.
Yeah.
Strangely, I thought, oh, I'm not going to have any work. And then I got lots of work writing reports, consultation reports, meetings held on Zoom that were recorded. I had to listen to the recordings and compile reports based on recordings. And I did about 4. I've got 4 published reports.
Wow.
Yeah, that are in the COVID period about COVID and the Black community on COVID and health, COVID and infrastructure. Yeah, so I've just written one report last week. I submitted one about London funding report.
Wow.
For an organization looking at the impact of funding for the Black and minority ethnic community and what the experience was, So for me, as a non-fiction writer, a lot of my work is non-fiction actual information, and it's the ability to coordinate a lot of information into a form which is readable.
And has it
condensing information so it's readable.
Has it paid off? Has it been rewarding?
Sorry?
Has it been rewarding, like in terms of for your time?
Yes, I get paid. Oh, yes, I get paid to do it. Yes.
Okay, great. So
yes, I get. Yes.
So if you had one piece of advice for anyone who may be going through a downtime, a business leader like myself, somebody who's starting a consulting business or starting any type of business and maybe going through any struggles, what would be that one piece of advice that you would give? I know you've given us a lot already, but I want my listeners to not lose that one piece of advice in this last 30 minutes of conversation.
I think if you're talking about writing, I think people, a good thing people could do is document your own practice, because I think the thing about life is that everyone has their own style in terms of anything we do, really, because nothing's new. I'm a consultant, but I bring my own personality to the work that I do, and I will be different from another person. Yeah. So I think it's useful to document your own practice. Okay. So you could talk about your own journey. A person can write about their own journey, blog about it, or do an article for a magazine. This was my particular journey. This is how I got to this place. This is what I like to do. This is what drives me. This is what motivates me, and so on. So you build your own brand in terms of your writing, your own writing style and your message, and that can inspire other people. So I would say to people, when I often say to my clients, when you start your business, start documenting your process. Write your own book. You never know where you might get to, where people want to read your book or read about your life. Especially you have a very interesting life, Paul.
Yes, thank you.
You have, and you've worked with people from all around the world. You've traveled. Your book would be so inspiring.
Yeah, on this show, I am going to confess that you have just snubbed a knob inside my head to consider putting this and share with the world, because this truly in this. I mean, COVID has been hard, but some of us have come from underwater before, so we have seen really hard times, and we have not gotten there yet, but we are hoping to get there. And this show is just as Ghana Live. It's just one of the ways we want to inspire people to come out and do positive things. So it's a pleasure having you again. Spending 30 minutes of your life with me is worth 30 years for me, because the last 10 years I've been doing my annual reports the same way, and I've been teaching all the volunteers and the interns that have come through me. So thank you very much.
Brilliant.
I don't know if you have.
Can I just say one thing? One thing.
Yes. Go ahead.
Just one. What? Yes, I'd want to say one thing.
Yes.
COVID has been a tough time for all of us. One of the things that we've been doing is exchanging skills.
Okay.
So somebody might ask me for some hours of business support, for example. So I might give them advice about running their business, and they may sew a dress for me.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
So we do that. That happens. We do that a lot. Yeah. So somebody might be an accountant, and I need somebody to put my accounts together.
Yeah.
But somebody may be able to bake them a cake or something. You know, it's just this exchange. So we do a lot of exchange here. Somebody might be a social media expert. So the social media expert does some work around social media for me, and then I do something else for them.
Wow. The barter trade, I mean, this is really great. Going back to basics and being human. Just
yes, absolutely.
Values and all.
Yeah, and things as well. Even things that you're not using in your house, you give away or exchange.
Yes, and get value for it. Oh, I'm so honored to have you. To close off this show, I would say I would love to have you on a PhD training with Ghanaian and NGO leaders and the rest, because I feel you had a big impact on me. We'll talk about the details not on this show.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to.
Great. So to sign off this show, my listeners, viewers, it's Paul Semeh, your favorite host. It's been IJU Ghana Live on location at the Street Children Empowerment Foundation. And our guest has been Yvonne Witter. She's an inspiring person. If you miss this conversation, go on YouTube. You can listen to it live. It will be on Caribbean Radio. It will be rebroadcasted again on Caribbean Radio. So you can listen, tell your friends, let's share this good news, let's motivate ourselves again, and let's begin to dream. Let's face 2020 with that new zeal that, hey, yes, we can. And we are connecting Africans all over in the world, no matter where, Africans on the continent, in the diaspora. So together, we can add value to the things that we have on this continent. We can connect our stories, and we can strengthen each other, advise each other virtually, and we can reach there together. Thank you very much, Yvonne. It's an honor having you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.